All right. Party people in the place to be, vandals, and whatever else might be mowing Joe's nose hairs. We are back with a brand new episode of Buzz Bites. This is the Guilty Pleasures episode. We're going to be talking about some things that we really enjoy that are particularly not quite cared for, at least by people in our age bracket or our scene. Like, they might be popular to other people. I don't know. I'm sure that there are people who love The Notebook and New Kids on the Block, but I ain't one of them. So it's going to be fun to hear one of us talk about such topics. But getting into it, like, how do you guys feel, Matt? How's your guys' week been? Like, I want to hear from you fuckers before we get into the savagery.
Well, you might as well plug that podcast you're on, no, Matt? You know,
Good Boy Matt. He played Good Boy Matt on the air too. Oh, you should have seen him. He looks so cute and sweet.
Yeah, he went and guest on another podcast.
I did with our good friend Mel at Horror Geek Life. You should definitely go check that out and subscribe if you haven't already. You can find it everywhere, so please do.
Great subject matter. They talk about awesome part 3s of horror franchises, which, you know, oddly enough, like, when you stop and think about it, there are some really, really good part 3s to a lot of different horror franchises. So it's a really neat topic.
Yeah, it was a good episode, man.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, your little fucking schoolboy routine was hilarious. Like, that makes it worth watching just for that. Yes, ma'am. Oh, indeed. It's the devil, though.
I have to keep it professional, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's not like our show where
it is not.
Anything goes.
That's right.
Well, good job, Mel. Love the episode. I threatened him big time. Yeah, that's what we were saying before.
Yeah, you laid down the law on him. You're like, look, Matt, this ain't that pink buzz shit. Like, you're gonna have to toe the line. You're gonna have. This is a real show with real people watching.
Yeah, she had the whip out and put you in shape, man. Put you in your place.
I liked it.
All right, sorry for interrupting you there. I just wanted to make sure you plugged that. So, how was the rest of your week?
It was at work, so
yeah.
Yeah,
I feel you.
About you, Canada?
Yeah, you seem to be doing
today's
pretty good.
my last day of vacation, so it's back to work tomorrow, which is all right. It's the first time I've actually taken the two full weeks off with Pat. Usually I only take one, but this time I took the whole 2 weeks off with her at the same time. So it was good. Really good.
Well, it's the big 15 year, right? I mean, that's a serious one.
Yeah, we went and got 4 more leaves and a flower added to our anniversary tattoo. So
right on.
Yeah. So every 5 years we do a flower. We color the flower the color of that year's anniversary, whatever it is. And we do 4 leaves to lead the 4 years leading up to the 5th year. So
that is so adorable, man. That is so romantic. That's
no wonder you like New Kids on the Block.
They
had a lot of hits,
we went on Monday. That was yesterday. We went and got the tattoo done yesterday. So yeah.
Also, I saw that you posted you got some pretty good booty today there, Pirate Joe. You want to share your pirate booty with us? Joe's got a big
I got Weapon Ek, however you want to pronounce it there. That's found out about this when we're talking when we had Schlepzig on the episode. He does a little 4 or 5 page part in that. It's basically recreating the entire run of Weapon X with a bunch of indie creators getting like 4 or 5 pages and redoing the whole story from A to Z in one issue. So that just came in today, so I can't wait to dig into that and have a look. And I ordered the glow-in-the-dark vinyl of Turbo Kid.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Fuck, man. It's pretty slick, man. I'm going to have to charge it up later and close the lights and let it spin on the turntable and see it glow.
Show us the disc really fast.
Yeah, it's green. Green glow-in-the-dark, so it's awesome. Green. Yeah.
Snotty green.
That is pretty.
Yeah. the back. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I went and picked up my books today too, but that's from last week anyway. I'm always a week behind. Yeah.
Well, you don't want to do your check-in a little early, otherwise we'll have a really short episode on Friday. I'm already predicting that one's going to be pretty short, anyways. So, well, we only got like
I got a lot of that reading
it,
done.
So.
I got a lot of that reading done, so I'll definitely probably be hitting a bunch of other stuff I've been kind of reading monthly. There aren't too many that I do that I read every month. I usually like try to accumulate them a little bit and then mini binge it, but there's a couple titles that came in this past week that I'll definitely give a read, so we'll have a little extra something for the check-in. Yeah.
Have you read anything recently that you would consider a guilty pleasure? You know, something that's kind of shit on by other people that you really dig, that you might recommend to people really fast? No?
No. I don't know. I can't think of anything really. I can think of a couple titles that you'd shit on that I've read recently, but aside from that, not really, man. No,
I can't think of a single book that I shit on. I love everything. Like, I am a pop culture journalist. I like the.
I could think of 3 off the top of my head, just like that.
Which ones? I want to hear these.
Spawn.
I haven't read the Sean Lewis one. It could be good. I don't know. Sean Lewis is great.
I'm just talking about Spawn in general.
Yeah, we'll get into him later because we're definitely going to be talking about Ed Mcfarlane. So yeah.
I won't mention any other ones. Anyway, I'll leave it at that because I don't want to.
Call me out. I gotcha.
Yeah. I don't want to live on a. Not that anyone will hear it, but just in case we get like fucking tons of people watching this, perchance, and then you get all kinds of hate on Twitter. I'll just avoid it altogether.
I've gotten lucky so far, man. I still haven't gotten any hate from my Pantera or Rage Against the Machine bashing on their fucking Crow soundtrack episode. So, I don't know. I've been kind of lucky. Yep, there it is. I told him to change his shirt before the show. He refused to do it in an act of Canadian defiance. Like, that is some maple syrup shit right there, brother. That's all.
That's right.
I just like the design of the shirt. I don't listen to Pantera all that much.
Yeah,
it's got a cool design. It's got a skull with a couple fists coming out.
Joe's all about the fisting.
Yeah, there's some fists on it, so I had to wear the shirt.
Skull fucking and fisting.
That's right.
So, where do you guys want to start this off? You want to start off with movies, comics, or music? Like, where do you want to get into our?
I don't give a fuck.
I don't know.
I just want to talk shit.
Oh, come on. Where was that Mouth on Mel's show there, tough guy?
I can't. It's rated PG.
I need to start rating the show.
I ordered the DVD for Return of the Living Dead.
That's going to be the first movie you own.
No, I've owned others, but when I moved last time, I got rid of all my DVDs and everything.
Okay, that makes sense.
I just gave them all away. But I've been finding it hard to stream stuff. Like, I was watching a lot of stuff online, so I was like, fuck it. I didn't feel like packing them. They're all in boxes, and I just gave them all my movies away. But, living in Canada, it's not so easy to find movies to stream. You have to subscribe to like 20 different subscriptions to watch maybe 5 movies, so
yeah.
Anyway, I got frustrated. For a year now, I've been checking religiously every month to see if someone picked it up somewhere on one of the streaming services, and nobody has it. Nobody. So I got fed up. I went and looked. I didn't like the Blu-ray because I hate the cover of the Blu-ray. And then I looked. The DVD was expensive. It was $30. That's pretty expensive for a DVD. Yeah, but it had the original poster or cover. So I was like, at least now I'll have it and I can watch it whenever I want.
Wow. I just got it for like $7 at Walmart with like this cool glow-in-the-dark cover for Halloween special. What? It's red. It's got a glow-in-the-dark cover. I have like 3 copies of that movie, dude.
$7. You're awesome. You live in the States. Yeah.
And there's no fucking French on the cover either. I don't have to.
No,
deal
this one didn't have French on it, which was a bonus. That's why I was like $30. I can justify it. There's no French on the cover, so boom, bought it.
Le boom. Come on.
It was worth the extra 20. It was worth the extra $15 just so that I didn't have like English with the French written underneath. It was worth the extra $15 just for that.
The original is probably one of the best horror movies of the 80s. Definitely one of the best zombie films ever. But it also segues into guilty pleasures because I am going to have to mention my absolutely love for Part 3 by Brian Yazuna. It is hated by a lot of people. But I rented it for the first time because it had a hot zombie chick with short hair and glass claws on the cover. And I ended up... She was still cool, but I loved it mostly for the vatos in it, man. The gangsters were great. The "Wake up, caca!" It's probably like one of my favorite lines ever. Part 2 is arguably my favorite in this series, though. I love the bully zombie versus the little kid zombie. That was just really well rendered.
It's got a great cover too, with the cloud, with the
tornado, with the zombie face.
Yeah. That is badass, man. That's a badass cover.
You can't fuck with old school horror movie covers, man. The hand painted covers, man. They
had it down. They had it down, man. That was like fucking. They should put out just a hardcover of all the best fucking movie posters, like horror ones, and just have like a coffee table where you could just. No,
coffee table piece.
Yeah, surely that's been done. Like,
well, if you find
if it hasn't, I'd be very surprised.
Okay, so keeping with the theme of films, I think we should start our guilty pleasures with music, and I'm going to go ahead and
keep it with the theme.
Love it.
All right, let's do this.
I'm going to go ahead and start us off. It is a band I started listening to, ironically, thanks to Trey Parker and Matt Stone. A lot of my uncles and my cousins that were adults when I was a kid really loved this band, and I hated them. But I started really, really liking Trey Parker and Matt Stone, and they were always going on and on about Steve Perry and how angelic his vocals were. And ironically, I started listening to the band Journey, and eventually I grew to love them. And I really, really love like certain songs like Wheel in the Sky and Separate Ways, two of the just baddest bangers from the 80s in my opinion. And I rock the hell out. And then I even like Steve Perry's solo work, like Oh Sherry and stuff. Like I can't help it. I know Goose is going to tear up on me, but yeah, that is my guilty pleasure, is the band Journey and the wonderful music that they've provided over the years. As cringe as some of it may be, like they're tight. Like they have some really good prog elements. I don't know, like that's about all I got to defend them. But I had to mute my mic. I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
I'm kind of disappointed you didn't just throw up all over your Pantera shirt.
Yeah.
That's later for the bonus material.
I hope so.
Wait till you hear Matt's pick. Like, I honestly think his is worse than mine, but whatever.
I strongly disagree.
You got more than a feeling that I'm wrong?
God damn. That was fucking awful.
Anybody got anything negative or positive to say about Journey before we start making fun of Matt's pick?
I only know their popular shit that plays on the radio, so yeah, like, I can't say much about them. I mean, they're okay. They're not the best band. They're not the worst. They're somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I'd actually have to agree. Like, I've heard their, like Joe said, their popular shit and nothing else because that's how good I think they are.
They are exactly so good. They did the theme song for Caddyshack, right? Well, not the I'm All Right song, but the Anywhere You Want It, That's the Way You Get. Like, yeah, dude, if you did a theme song for Caddyshack, you know you were the dog's balls in the 80s. And yeah, Boston sure didn't get that. That's for sure.
That's because they turned that shit down and said, why don't you give it to some shit band?
Yeah, they had more than a feeling that it was a bad idea. But
How many times are we gonna hear that fucking used this episode?
That's the only Boston song I know, man. So let's keep it cruising to Matt's Choice, which I've already blown. I'm sorry, but
it's okay.
He actually has the vinyl too, man. Shit.
Look at the fucking afro that this dude is rocking. I mean,
does that make you make better music?
It sure the fuck does.
It did back then.
I haven't seen an afro that sweet since At the Drive-In tried to duplicate it. But yeah, actually, as far as music goes, this is actually my parents' fucking record that that I got from them whenever they just fucking got rid of all that shit. But I'm pretty sure that this is the first album I ever remember hearing as a kid.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know, man. This fucking whole album I can listen to the whole goddamn thing, and I have more than a feeling about it being way better than goddamn Journey. But yeah, dude, the guitar.
That UFO album cover is sweet, dude. It's a beautiful album cover. Hold up one more time. Look at that thing, man. That is killer. I mean, and they got really good prog elements to their band too, which you can tell by the album cover. But
yeah, I mean, it's about the same time as all that Journey shit, right? Like when all that was coming out.
Yeah, they were an arena rock band. They were around with like Asia and Chicago, Fred's favorite band, the band that would go ahead and solidified his rating as a furry. So yeah,
yes,
it is worse. You could listen to Chicago, which is, in my opinion, like probably like, but yeah, like I guess you also had Cheap Trick was another band that was kind of in that genre with them. You had Supertramp. Yeah, there were a ton of the arena bands like that, that were kind of prog.
Yeah. Okay. What other songs does Boston have? I'm trying to think, and I forgot to go on my Spotify and give them a quick listen.
I'll just read off the track list. Of course, it starts out with More Than a Feeling.
That's the first song off that?
It's the very first song.
So they blew their load right off the first song.
It's a decent song, but it's by far like not the best song on the album. Okay. No. Peace of Mind. Fuck, this record's so old I can't even read what the third track is. Rock and Roll Band, Smokin', Hitch a Ride, Something About You,
I think I know that one.
And Let Me Take You Home Tonight.
Okay, yeah.
There's a few songs that they definitely had more than just
sounds like they had a lot of toxic masculinity. That last track, that's awful subjective.
What if he's taking a dude home?
Okay, then that's fine, I guess. I don't want to. Right. I can't be too judgmental. So I don't know the context, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, those rockers, man. You know they swing always. You know.
That's right. Taking a group home.
Yeah, they just whatever's coming their way, man. It just they're all coked out, drunk, man. They just they don't give a shit after a while. They just want to feel something.
Yeah. A hole's a hole at a certain time.
Touring on the road.
You're getting into the band you're talking about, like that hardcore, just crazy, like quarter mile at a time, like living just psycho. Like Joe, go ahead and break us into like just the insane like hardcore shit you're into when you were a little baby Joe child.
I cheated a little bit because I thought your choices were pretty fucking lame and safe compared to what we were trying to go for the episode. So I went with New Kids on the Block because that was one of the first. I think my mom bought me a cassette of them because when she bought me a radio for Christmas one year, she had to buy me cassettes so I could play them in the player. So that was one of the bands she bought. And fucking New Kids on the Block, that was in 88? I think that album came out, 89 maybe, 88. Anyway, Hanging Tough, man. That was like the big album that year. So everyone in like 5th and 6th grade, man, they were listening to this shit. So,
you know any of the dances?
I'm just like an 11-year-old kid, and I'm just listening to whatever everyone else is listening to. And I actually went and saw them live when I was 11 years old, man. My mom got tickets. So we went and saw it. I went and saw New Kids on the Block live. And, like, I hear their songs now, and I'm like, all these other fucking boy bands, like, no, man, they all suck compared to New Kids on the Block, like NSYNC and what's that shit band that Justin Timberlake was part of? Was it NSYNC or was it something else? Yeah, that's garbage, man.
They were just all they did is replicate.
New Kids is where it's at.
Yeah, they just did it over again. Like, honestly, like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC were just regurgitations of New Kids, in my opinion.
And I think every fucking track from that album, Hanging Tough, made it into the top whatever. I think they had a video for almost every fucking song on that album, and every one of those fucking songs on that album, think it at least played a little bit, got a little bit of airtime on the radio.
Oh yeah,
so that album was fucking tearing it up. That was tearing it up, man.
It didn't matter what the fuck they were singing about. Not that I remember them having much variety in what they were singing about, but yeah, like you can go anywhere without hearing that shit.
They sing about girls, right? Wasn't it all about girl? You're my girl, my girl, girl.
Please
girl.
don't go, girl.
Obviously.
Girl.
That's what's up. That was my jam.
Yeah.
Matt.
But I mean,
can you do any of the dances?
Obviously,
no, dude. I fucking wish I could.
There's just that one like that, man. That's it. That's all you need to know how to do.
There it is. That's
it. Yeah, hanging tough, man.
What about the kick stepping with right stuff? The with the kick outs, like that was.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that now.
Yeah, but it's been such a long time, like I don't know. I hear the songs now.
Forget.
Yeah. I hear it now, and I'm not like, oh my god, that's horrible. I'm like, yeah, that's all right, man. Like originally I was gonna go with like, let's say Lady Gaga, but I mean, no one was feeling it. Like no one had much of anything bad to say about her, so I was like, fuck it, I'll go with New Kids on the Block.
I've heard Poker Face. That's literally, I think, the only song of hers I ever heard, and I never thought it was that weird. Everybody talked to like she was so weird. I'm like, I heard that song. It doesn't really sound very weird. It's just poker face.
No, it's more her videos that were kind of cool and like Marilyn Manson like, but maybe a little more tame.
Huh.
Anyway, New Kids on the Block, man. I mean,
I'm surprised they haven't made like a biopic about them. Like you figure like they'd have had a movie.
Well, they did a comeback in 2008, I believe.
Couple. I remember they did a comeback when
they did like a little tour there where they all bald and shit and came out with their walkers and tried to dance a little, broke a hip.
Yeah, didn't they do a tour with the Backstreet Boys, right? Where like they like did an album together too, right?
There's another bunch of fucking posers right there, man.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, rock your body. Yeah. Backstreet.
None of those fucking boy bands hold a candle to fucking New Kids on the Block, man.
That's right. I just want to see all three of them just fight each other to the death.
There was 5.
That would be fucking awesome.
I think there was more than 3 of them.
Like Battle Royale style, where you throw them on an island.
Oh, you mean the 3?
The survivor gets another contract that like a new fucking music contract. So then they'll be like, I'll rekindle my superstardom. So they'll be more into it.
I'd fucking pay to watch it.
So
that would you guys want to do? You guys want to do comics next?
Call up some studios.
You go for it.
Sure.
I thought Matt was saying that there was 3 guys in the New Kids on the Block. I'm like, there were 5 of them, right? And I took a second
Instinct,
to realize we were talking about the 3 different bands. Yeah.
And New Kids, yeah. I'd just love to watch Justin Timberlake get punched square in the face. That'd be awesome.
Hey, no, dude, Timberlake's awesome. He brought sexy back, dude. You can't. Fuck with him.
I don't dislike him. I just it'd be funny to see how he takes it.
I'd love to see
any
single one of them
down and fucking. Will he throw down or will he like curl up in a ball and cry?
Hey, Joe,
that's where you see what the person's made of once they take a punch. How do they react?
I'm pretty sure they'd all cry.
I never want to hear you say you like it that way, Joe. That's all I got to say.
Hey,
All these music fucking garbage jokes, Johnny. God
They're
damn.
all puns and they're terrible. You just yell
all right,
boo
comics.
at me. All right, next up, comics. We're gonna go ahead and
Or
let
wacka wacka wacka.
I'm gonna go ahead and go first again. Why not? This one, I figure, Joe, would you say this is another safe choice? I don't think so. I think that I picked kind of a bold one. This is kind of the first book that made it okay to shit on Frank Miller. I like this book, even though it never even finished a single story arc, and it totally did have a Nazi Batman. But I gotta always see Batman as a Nazi. I, of course, am talking about All-Star, Batman and Robin, The Boy Wonder, written by Frank Miller with art by the sellout king piece of shit himself, Jim Lee. But aside from that, I think that this was pretty cool. I think that the big problem is Frank Miller had the whole thing popping off in Hollywood. He had just did Sin City. He was starting the Spirit, and I think that's why the book never took off. But it had some really strong points. One of my favorite things ever is when Batman and Robin deal with the Green Lantern. They paint the whole room yellow, and they're there with wiffle ball bats. And they're like threatening his life, and the Green Lantern is like literally terrified because back in the day, anything yellow could hurt the Green Lantern, and they kind of brought that trope back up, and I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was classic, and it's one of those things that really endeared the book to me personally. But it was 8 issues of pretty all right that could have gotten a lot better if it actually went somewhere, and maybe if Frank himself drew it, because Jim Lee. But yeah, it is what it is. I know,
Joey,
Matt,
you look like you were aching to say something there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a false pick by Johnny. Because when I saw it, I was like, Jim Lee's drawn it and he picked this as a guilty pleasure. I was like, I don't know, something's off here. I don't know. It really threw me off when I saw that pick. I didn't,
It's pretty universally hated.
This is before he sold a Wildstorm, and I really hated him. And long before he was responsible for the murder of Vertigo. So, yeah, it was before his 2 cardinal sins that really, really drove me to my anti-Jim Lee personality disorder. But so I kind of had a slight like for him when this book was coming out. But, yeah, no, I'm not trying to mess around. I do like this book.
Okay.
And
See,
I like
I don't,
Frank Miller, period.
I mean, this book, I think the only other thing I could hear people say worse things about is maybe that Superman book that he did.
Yeah, Superman Year One.
Yeah, I think that's the only other thing I hear people shit on even more than maybe this is maybe that one.
Holy Terror.
That one, yeah,
Holy
that one
Terror
everyone
is
shits on.
Is his most shit on book, I would say.
Is it?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, Holy Terror is his word. That's the one where it's like Batman fights the terrorist and he's really racist about it. Like there's some I can understand why people got a little mad at Frankie with that book, because like there was some anti-Muslim stuff that wasn't cool in that book. But he's apologized to, you know what I mean? He's grown, but people just won't listen to him or allow him to be better now because that's not allowed nowadays.
So what do you think, Matt?
I remember it was a big deal when this book got launched and all that shit, and then it just I remember it was never on time. I'm pretty sure. Do you know how long it took just to get whatever we got, Johnny?
I think it was a 3.5 year period just to get it to 8 issues that came out.
I remember it was like huge delays between issues, and it's like so bad that it's good in my opinion. Like it's like a trash horror film, except it's a Batman story without any horror, but like that's, it gives me that same feeling. Like this is so bad that I actually like it. So like the dialogue is just awful. Like I've never read anything by Frank Miller that was this atrocious ever.
So basically, this could have easily been a pick for you as well for guilty pleasure.
I mean, I think I've read it maybe twice. I just remember it was bad, but like I don't know. It was hard for me to come up with a guilty pleasure comic because I don't really have any guilt for reading any of the shit that I read. So
Yeah, I hear you. It's hard to pick a comic that, that could unanimously be called, like, unless you're reading like My Little Pony or some shit like that. But even then, there's a whole brony movement there. So,
That's right.
you'll have tons of people that'll back you on that. So it's hard to find a comic these days that doesn't have a huge fan base. Like,
Yeah.
I think we're in a time in comic books where there's such a vast variety of genres and so many people following them and loving them that it's hard to find a guilty pleasure, because you're going to find a ton of fans of any of these books. And, it's hard.
Not this
What's
one
that?
I picked.
No.
This literally gets shit on, and I get shit on for liking it. It's literally like one of the 18 DC trade paperbacks I own, and people are always like, "Why do you have this?" And I'm like, "Because it's awesome." And like, it was the first time we got to see kind of like the Jared Leto Joker, and it was the first All-Star book that they did. It came out a little bit before Grant Morrison's All-Star Batman, and if it wasn't for this book, Scott Snyder wouldn't have coattails to ride and put out his unreadable trash under the All-Star Batman title as well. So I mean, like, it's kind of upheld its notoriety as a series, depending on whether you like Frank Miller or if you like Scott Snyder. They kind of just do the same thing and put out really, really trash Batman books under this heading to this day, in my opinion. So it's fairly relevant to nowadays, in my opinion, in a weird way.
Yeah.
Even though, in my opinion, it is a real guilty pleasure, and it really is a book I like, despite the fact that $2 lunch table Jim Lee drew it.
Yeah, I have to agree with Randy, man. Dick in a Box was pretty fucking funny. Yes. I love that one. And the Jizz in My Pants. Yeah, all that stuff he did with was it Lonely Island or
the Lonely Island? Yes.
Yeah, that crew, all the sketches he did, like Jizz in a Pants when he's the janitor, and you don't know it at first, and then you kind of start catching on when he starts dancing when he's mopping. Then you're like, okay, this is something. Then they get a close up, and you're like, it's Timberlake. He's there. He's with them. Then he did a lot of other sketches with a lot of people might not like him as much, like Jimmy Fallon. He did a lot of sketches, pretty funny stuff there. He was the host of the ESPN the Sports Awards one year, and he was really good on that as a host for the awards for sports. You should check that out. He has a few good sketches there too. Timberlake.
Oh, okay. Well, he's still friends with Sandberg. He was hilarious in Popstar Never Stop Stopping, where he was the chef guy, and
he delivers some pretty good comedy. He's good at it, man. He's got a flow. He's good. I like him in comedic roles.
I liked him in Alpha Dog.
Yeah, he's good in Alpha Dog. I liked him in White Snake Moan or Black Snake Moan. I thought he was pretty good in that.
Well, there's a tie. We have a little 6 degrees of separation with Alpha Dog a little later, so we'll get back to that movie.
Who's next on?
I'm next. My guilty pleasure. So I went with something that, because everyone hates 90s comics, right? Everyone shits on comics that came out in the 90s. So I went with Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man. And when I was a kid, when that came out, I loved it. His, I think it was 12 issues, I think. Yeah, when I was a kid, I loved that, man. It was dark. That first story with the lizard and Kraven with his, half his head blown away. It was fucking dark, man. Like, I was reading this and I was like, this is Spider-Man? Like, and he wasn't quippy as much as he normally is. And I was like it was, I loved it. Like, even if it wasn't Spider-Man, it would have been cool. Like, and then obviously you have Wolverine and Wendigo, which is a blast in my past, because the first comic I ever read was a compilation of John Byrne that had the Wendigo story of the X-Men, Uncanny X-Men 140. I can't remember the number exact, but it had the Wendigo story in it. It had some Incredible Hulk stories. So when I saw that, man, Wolverine in his yellow and, fighting Wendigo out in the woods, and that was pretty cool. Then he brought in a story with Ghost Rider, which I was super into Ghost Rider back in the day. So, man, McFarlane was hitting all the notes with me on his run on Spider-Man. Like, every issue was like, oh, fuck, I want to read this. So, and a lot of people shit on, like, the 90s comics and this and that, and they're overprinted. Well, I guess it's more collectors that shit on the 90s comics because they're overprinted. They have no value. A lot of people say the stories are shit because you had all the artists started writing the stories instead of having writers write the stories. So there's all that stigma about it, but man, that run holds a special place in my heart, and I love it.
Yeah, I remember that the Wolverine Wendigo story in that run. It was pretty dark with like child death and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Todd went. He went. I don't know what was going on in his life back then, but man, he brought a pretty darker side to Image there. Not Image, but Marvel before he left for Image there.
Yeah, I call that run Spawner Man because it was basically like he recycled a bunch of those ideas with Spawn.
In Spawn, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I never hated it. I didn't think it was like written spectacularly by any means, but I've never hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I read Trauma. Like it was after its heyday. I think it was somewhere around like 2002. I gave Spider-Man a big shot, trying to see what everybody was talking about, how amazing the character was. So I got a bunch of books. Everybody told me that was really great. So, and I got that. I got like I got the Clone Saga, bunch of the stuff that's supposedly the most amazing. And most thing I really remember about Trauma is they built up this whole thing like, ooh, dude, Mary Jane's going out and the city's so crazy. What's going to happen to her? And literally nothing happens to Mary Jane. She literally just goes to the mall and comes back. And that's the incredibleness of Todd McFarlane and his creativity, in my opinion. Guy makes amazing action figures. He can really draw really cool like legs behind people's heads. But in most ways, in my opinion, he's Rob Liefeld that can draw feet.
There we go. You're lucky because I almost went with maybe New Mutants. So I was thinking of going with the Liefeld.
I was going to go with the original X-Force to begin with. Like you can ask Matt. I actually said that just to be smart.
I was toying with that as well.
I did read the shit out of it when I was a kid. I still have the issues and stuff too.
Yeah, I read it too when I was a kid. Man, they were Lee, Liefeld, and McFarlane were the three big boys back in the day, man. They were untouchable at the time. That's why they left and started Image, because they were so big and so hot that they were like, fuck it.
It's hilarious. And the only guy that had any talent that's any cool at all was Mark Silvestri. And he's like the only guy that's still like making good comics at Image, in my opinion. So yeah, it's kind of fucking hilarious. And he was probably the best guy that ever drew the X-Men out of all those clowns as well. But yeah, that just shows how that
I don't know. Early Jim Lee's really good.
Yeah, man, the big ass arms on all the girls and all the huge boobs and huger guns. Yeah, he was incredible.
Early Jim Lee was good. It was darker. The inks were a lot more heavy. Now it's super clean. There's a lot of hashing. Not as the shadows aren't as heavy with the inks and stuff. Like his art was a lot more.
That actually fit on the people.
His art was a lot more. His art was a lot more moody early on, I found.
I call that whole era the big guns or big boobs, bigger guns era, because that's what you got, especially if you read X-Men. Like the girls were top heavy, and then they carried guns that like you're like, how do you even walk with that thing? You need a forklift to fucking shoot that. Like, come on. Like,
well, don't they have telekinesis powers? You know, they just
not all of them
that way. Yeah, all mutants do, man. All mutants do.
Oh man, we just like lost all our listeners pretty much. Like that's awesome. I'm sorry, but like that's what being honest gets you on YouTube, I guess. Whatever.
Mignola did one of those early X-Force issues.
I guess I don't remember. I really remember when I first started noticing him. Funny enough, was the tie-in comic to that Keanu Reeves Dracula movie. Like that was. Well, he did the art for it, and it was nice, even though, like, yeah, dude. That movie's awesome, though, man. Keanu Reeves pretending to have a British accent. That was hot. Like, he should
bad.
He should have did that as John Constantine, which I wasn't going to tell the audience this, but we did unlock a bonus round because we were talking about it earlier, and we all love it. At the end of the show, we're going to talk about the Keanu Reeves John Constantine movie, because that is a guilty pleasure of all of ours that I think we can all just enjoy and have a good time talking about at the end. But yeah, that was our comics. And oh no, wait, we have Matt Claw. I was gonna move on. Like he's crickets over there. He's the goose of the episode. Go ahead, kiddo.
Yeah, while we're shitting on Spider-Man, I might as well continue the trend because my guilty pleasure is the Clone Saga, which is just, I don't know anyone that doesn't shit on that amazing disaster that lasted, what was it, 2 or 3 years, I think, when it was supposed to be like a 12-issue arc or some shit like that.
Well, it was called a saga. I hate to break it to people, but like those are things are known to go on and on. Like that's what the title means.
Yeah, but I've always been a fan. Like that was one of the earliest comics I remember buying with my own money. Was when all that shit was first starting out, and I've always liked Ben Reilly way more than Peter Parker, and he is the real Spider-Man as far as I'm concerned. Like. Whatever the test results that come back or whatever, they were wrong. Ben Reilly's the real Spider-Man. Fuck Peter Parker. Send all your hate to Joe.
Best costume until at least Miles Morales, man. Like that really kind of basketball ghetto Spider-Man look that Scarlet Spider had with the hoodie, and like that was so cool. Like that's probably my favorite looking Spider-Man.
His costume's sick.
It was okay. It was okay. They see the difference between Miles Morales and this one is you got to put shorts on him, man. Like the hood with the spandex bottoms, man, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, if they'd have given him some basketball shorts, that would have been gangster. It would have completed it.
Yeah, with the Nike kicks, like that's the way to go. Like in the Spider-Verse, the shorts when he has this underneath, it's awesome.
You can't see the package in shorts, Joe.
Yeah.
Who wants to see Ben's package, man? Anyway, who is the driving force behind that story anyway?
All of that. I'm pretty sure back then they had Marvel had like an X-Men wing, a Spider-Man wing.
Okay.
Like I'm trying to remember who I was writing that fucking shit.
So they basically had all the Spider guys together and had a writing room and just went at it that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember who was in charge of Marvel back then, and I don't fucking remember.
So they just put all these guys in a room with cocaine and just one bad idea after another for 2-3 years.
Yes.
I got you. Okay.
Well, this was at
and
the
by
same
bad
time
ideas, the best ideas.
Well, this was at the same time as the Chuck Austin X-Men run, right? Like they had that gloriousness popping up.
No, I think that was after. I think
a little after. Okay.
Yeah. I don't fucking know.
Well, because I mean, next to the Clown Saga, I would say that the Chuck Austin X-Men is probably the most shit on thing I know next to it. So that's why
that came out after Morrison and Milligan, didn't it?
I know it's definitely after the Morrison run, but
yeah, then that's way after the Clone Saga.
I just found it weird to see Tom Lyle drawing Spider-Man. That just threw me off. I don't know. I was used to seeing him over at DC drawing shit. Then all of a sudden he's doing fucking Spider-Man. I thought his career was over once he did the comment with Impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a pretty long run on that, didn't he? Tom Lyle as the artist?
I think so.
Yeah.
All about Ben Reilly and his package.
I'm so happy I never really read Spider-Man, so yeah.
I haven't read any Spider-Man like arcs really, except for the Clone Saga, and I'm pretty sure I have. Like seriously,
I think the only one I've read was Larson when he took over from Mcfarlane, and Michelini or whatever the name is. Their run on Amazing Spider-Man. I pretty much read that one from start to finish, all the Larson stuff, and I dug it, man. I enjoyed it. He was awesome. I loved him on Spider-Man.
Like I've read bits and pieces. I've read bits and pieces of other people's Spider runs or whatever, but nothing in their entirety.
Yeah, but they had some
I mostly
fucking
read like the
good
weird
arcs, man. They had
characters.
they had like a Sinister Six arc. They had a Venom arc when Larson was on it.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Like they had some pretty good arcs that followed one after the other. I loved it.
Yeah, I always liked Larson's art with that.
Yeah,
but I mean,
he was awesome.
fucking Larson, so
is that before he went and did Savage Dragon? I didn't know he worked on shitty.
Yeah, that was before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he did for like almost 2 years.
I think he almost did it for 2 years. So.
Yeah.
Oh, you should go check out his Spider-Man. It's worth it.
No, I'm not.
As far as I'm concerned.
I know David Lapham drew Spider-Man for a while too. I'm not going to read that either. So. And I love David Lapham. So. But I like a lot of the weird spin-off characters, though. I absolutely love Peter David's 2099. That is kind of my Spider-Man. I like we talked about, I like David Hines' Spider-Man Noir. I thought that was a lot of fun. I like Rick Remender's Venom. I like a few Spider-Man things here or there, but like I've never really caught the spider bug like a lot of fanboys have.
Peter David's pretty solid. I mean, for back in the 90s, he was probably one of the more solid writers that wrote comics back in the 90s, man. He's got some solid shit. Oh yeah, that with the new team, when the new team came out, fucking love that, man, with Havoc and Polaris and Strong Guy. What's the not Farrell? What's her name? Wolfsbane. Multiple Man. That was a great team.
Yeah,
great team. Love that book.
But I mean, like, he could get me to read anything. I read his whole run of Supergirl, and I don't read Supergirl. So.
I don't know if people dug on what's his name, Stroman. Is that his name? The artist in the beginning on X Factor. But he had like this weird style that I just dug.
So hot. Dude.
Oh yeah, man! I just loved his style. It was like it added to the story, man, of the oddballness, the weirdness to the story, and I think his art just added so much to the story.
The first issue where she goes and she meets Richter at the gas station, and he's being a little crybaby, and she's just like flying next to his motorcycle, trash talking him. Like that's when I knew I loved that book, dude. Like his old X Factor was great too, like the '90s one that he wrote with pretty much the same characters. That's why it was so neat when he did the new one, or the newer one, I guess.
Yeah,
but
well, enough about comics.
Yeah, it's movie time, and I'm gonna go ahead and let Joe go first. This is right. This is one that probably everybody is waiting for. This is a safe pick in my opinion.
If you like fucking Alpha Dog, then you should love this movie too. The fucking Notebook, man. The fucking Notebook. Because you know why? It's the same fucking director, man.
Don't give a fuck.
Nick Cassavetes directed this, so you know you guys should love this movie. Hey man, it's good. It's got what's her name? Rachel McAdams. Man, and dude.
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling with his ratty beard, you know, and he fixed up a house for her, like the dream house they're supposed to have, and he tries to steal her from this other dude, and you know they go on the swamp with the white swans and go rowing. Man, it's got everything, man. Anything you like, watch this movie, and maybe you guys could get married too. I'm
not gonna marry Matt.
Can I vomit on your shirt now?
He doesn't have good benefits. Like I'm looking for a dude that has way better benefits.
There's a reason why you guys are single, because you hate on Notebook, man.
I would say my favorite thing about Notebook is oddly that Brian Cox talks about it in Autopsy of Emily Rose. That's the best thing about the Notebook, in my opinion. I do like Nick Cassavetes, though, by the way, when he played Packer Walsh, the bad guy in one of my favorite 80 movies of all time, The Wraith, where he had like the Corvette and like Charlie Sheen was going to kill him with his cool ass Dodge car or whatever it was. Like, he's like evil Trent Reznor and shit. Like Nick Cassavetes was fucking psycho. And next thing I know, he's making the Notebook. And I'm like, what, dude? No, dude. Like you were hanging out with Skank and the Gutter Boy. Like you were killing.
This should be called The Handbook to Successful Relationships. It shouldn't be called The Notebook. Anyone that hasn't watched this or hates on this, there's a reason why you're unsuccessful in your love life.
So all good relationships, like who are you, Camus? Like all good relationships have to end with one of the characters dying. That's romance for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Die for love, man.
Okay, punk rock master. Die for love, man. Skate or die. Matt, come on, tell him the truth. Come on.
The truth is, I don't know fucking jack shit about this movie except what Joe just said, even though I wasn't really paying attention all that much to him either. But as far as I'm concerned with this film, it should have ended just like the Star Wars movies should have ended, with just straight and total death to every single character.
I'll tell you what, if it did end like the Star Wars movies, that would have been awesome. Like, if they would have fucking had Ewoks having a barbecue and singing their little song and shit with Ryan Gosling all, yum, yum, dum, dum. Like, that would be a lot better of an ending than what we got in this movie. So, Mel never saw it either, Joe. Like, so your whole, like...
Hey, who just celebrated 15 years of being married? This guy. So, you know... The proof is in the pudding, my friends. I went all to the Notebook.
I put something extra special in your pudding.
If we're talking about true love and romance, we shouldn't be talking about pudding at all, because that evokes the imagery of Bill Cosby, and he really did not understand the idea of romance because what he put in his pudding.
God damn.
Woo!
We should be talking about completely different other food, ice cream or something, I guess. Olive Garden breadsticks is what your fucking Notebook reminds me of a lot more than pudding. Like salad and breadsticks from the Olive Garden after watching the Notebook. That's what's up. And some Applebee's maybe.
You gotta learn to cook. Cook at home. You're already home. That's the way you do it.
I'm already home. That's what the Notebook's all about. He built it.
Because I can cook well, so that was my secret, man. You meet the girl once, you go out for a couple drinks, hit it off. The next time you invite her over, make her a fucking fabulous meal, a little red wine. It's a little red wine, and you know the bedroom's not too far away. So that's a go-to on the second date. Usually works every time. But you got to be able to cook well, though. You got to blow them away with the meal.
All I heard was that you fed Pat way too many fucking breadsticks.
Yeah, you roofied Pat breadsticks and red wine, like.
Yeah, but not too much though. Just like maybe 2 glasses of red wine, just to get a little giddy. You know, it's
okay. You hang out
stimulate
with
conversation.
Matt. You can hate on stuff a little bit. Like you roll with Matt now. People are going to expect that kind of activity from you. Even though you lay down the law and you keep him in check on your show, people are going to be like, yo, you roll with that asshole. You got to hate. So you got to be hating the Notebook. You know, there's breadsticks.
Oh, Fred's in the house.
Shit. The fur master is here.
Yeah, the roofied breadsticks.
No, you don't need
Fred
roofies,
knows all
man.
about that shit too.
If you know how to romance, you don't need roofies, man. That's the secret. That's what you guys aren't understanding. Fuck, you know, you just got to know how to woo a lady. Yeah,
dude. You get reservations at Chili's, and like,
and then pass gas all night while you're trying to get fresh with her. That's the way to go.
The Notebook. I've never seen it, so I can't really say if it's bad or not. I just know the notoriety of it, and
Hey,
and
it's a best-selling novel, man. It's based off a best-selling novel. I mean, it's got so much going for it.
Was it sold like actually bound as like a notebook? Like I would, like if I had a best-selling novel called The Notebook, I'd literally have it like sold to look like a Mead notebook, like 5-star with the ring.
I don't know. I never read the fucking book. I just saw the movie. There you go. Fred's down. Fred knows how it goes. And Fred's married. I don't know how long he's been married.
Too. So like,
Fred
He's a
knows
furry.
how to.
Yeah, but Fred can't get too close to the fireplace in that furry seat.
Yeah, straight up. You ever seen a furry get caught on fire? It's not pretty. Oh my! I can hear Fred too, like with his voice. Oh
It
man,
depends.
I'm on fire, baby, put me out.
If depends on the tail you put on. If it's not a furry tail, if it's more like we touched on Friday, you know, if it's not a non-fur tail, then you're good.
Yeah, cute little tail, making little snow snow angels in the dirt.
In the dirt, yeah.
The hot little tail. Oh fuck!
All right, that was my pick. Now who's next?
Matt,
I felt your picks were pretty safe as well. You guys went.
I only changed mine to this just because Johnny was shitting on it so bad, and my pick is Alien Covenant, and I want to treat this one a little differently. I want Johnny to tell me what he hates about it, and then I will debate that.
It's very simple. See, like the guy Ridley Scott, he actually made like a really, really solid, amazing film called Prometheus. It blew my mind. It was one of the most incredible things ever. I loved it because it kind of played with ideas from Alien, but it was its own film, and it was supposed to be like its own franchise. And then they just kind of pooped out a really bad Alien movie with Billy Crudup and fucking Danny McBride and this shit cast. The only kind of interesting thing that was in it was like the weird Tool video prototype aliens. They were neat, but like they got like 3 seconds. Like they were in the movie about as much as James Franco was. So yeah.
How great was that?
I wish that Franco got more. He just like shows up and I'm sick. And like he's dead, and the rest of the movie is Billy Crudup's golden fucking rock star ass jumping off roofs and being lame like usual.
Yeah, but then you get to see him fucking murdered.
Wait a minute.
It took
what
forever.
Movie are we talking about here?
Alien
Covenant.
Okay, I thought we were talking about the end because you have Franco and McBride in the same movie. What the fuck? Is this a comedy or is it a horror movie?
No.
I wish it was a comedy. It would have fucking served better, I think. Especially with the whole Fassbender on Fassbender action. Like, the movie would have blown me away if the two Michael Fassbender droids would have fucked like they were hinting at. But it never happens. They just get really close and really creepy with each other. And then it's just like a missed opportunity. And it's like, what, dude? No, you could have literally had that guy fuck himself on camera and it would have been awesome. But
did they ever establish that those droids were sexual in previous iterations of the movies?
In the first film, he stalked Noomi Rapace's character. He had mad wood for her, so I'm pretty sure that like the Michael droids were horny. At least that one, the specific one named Michael was from Prometheus.
So the real thing is they just put rapey droids in this to make it scary. Like you don't have to worry about creepy guys that are gonna like date rape you. Now you got these fucking androids that are gonna fucking date rape you too.
Well, they did it in the first Alien as well, like with Ian Holmes' character. Well, I forget his droid's name. When he tried to kill Ripley, he was pretty rapey. So, like, yeah, it's just returning to alien norms a little bit because it was Prometheus was meant to be a prequel, but it was also supposed to be about the guy that they find in the chair, the engineers, I believe they call him in the movie. And I thought it was really cool. I love the Ancient Astronaut Theory. I thought it was a really cool movie about, like how the humankind was built and that like they were going to use the Xenos as bioweapons to murder us because we were fucked up racist shitheads and we didn't turn out the way they wanted us to. I thought that was really clever. I thought that was a really interesting thing. And the next thing I know, the sequel comes out, and it's just a really bad, pooped-out Alien film that literally makes Alien Resurrection look like a masterpiece. Honestly, 100% completely. I don't care what anybody tries to tell me. Between the two of them, like Ron Perlman and the guy from CSI in Alien Resurrection shit all over Alien Covenant. It was the guy from CSI. I forget his name. His name was York Brown in that.
And the fucking dude from The Crow.
Yeah, Michael Wincott.
Yeah.
When he's talking to, she is severely fuckable now, isn't she? Like, Michael Wincott's such
I love that movie.
Man. Yeah, Alien Resurrection's so good.
I do hate Winona Ryder, though. She fucking sucks.
It really reminded me of like one of the old Dark Horse comics. That's why I like it so much. It really like hit on the Dark Horse alien comic level.
See, the only thing I remember from Alien Covenant is the scene where they're all kind of in the field, like in the opening in the field, and the aliens in the field kind of hunting them. That's the only thing I remember from that movie.
Lucky.
So that pretty much sums up the movie for me.
I feel like Napoleon Dynamite, dude. Lucky. Like, I wish that's all I remembered.
I wish the characters from The Notebook were the ones in that field.
So Matt, defend your choice here.
I don't know. I fucking like it, and fuck you guys.
All this just for that?
Yeah.
What kind of show are you trying to put on here?
Yeah, well,
man?
yeah.
It's fucking weak. Just like the
what kind
movie.
of debate is that? Yeah.
It's weak, just like the movie, man.
That's weak. You didn't even have Michael Fassbender fucking himself either. Like, come on, dude.
He taught the other droid how to play a flute. Oscar
literally
winning.
or figuratively?
Kind of both.
Anyway,
you didn't like the fight scene at all, Johnny?
There was a fight scene in that
movie. There's something about that movie that I just can't remember anything about it.
Dude, like you say fight scene, I was talking to Joe about Kate last night. All I can think of is Mary Elizabeth Winstead's fine ass jumping around beating up Japanese dudes. Like, and if that didn't happen in Covenant, then no, I don't remember it.
And her Ripley, and I love that they dressed her up like Ripley, man. That was such a nice little wink to, I don't know if it was, but man, they got her in that little green jacket with the white top. Then she cuts her hair short too. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, I think that's what they were doing is like, dude, like people keep bitching about like that they can't make new aliens because Sigourney Weaver's old. Like Mary Elizabeth Winstead could do it, dude. She looked exactly like her. A little hotter.
She was badass in that too. Yeah. So Kate, a way better movie than Alien Covenant.
Oh, definitely. Billy Crudup wasn't in it.
All right, now it's time to rip on. Did Johnny do his yet? I don't think so, eh?
No.
Johnny's going last. Time to rip on Johnny.
In my opinion, is the only true guilty pleasure that is involved in this particular topic. I picked a movie that I learned to like during my adventures into disturbing cinema. I foolishly, as a horror fan, for the longest time, I wanted to find something that truly terrified me. And like a lot of people, I got stuck in the loop of movies that are just gross for grossness' sake. But I kind of came out of it liking a few of them. Like, I've seen them all. I've seen like the particular one from Eastern Europe that I'm not going to mention because it just invokes grossness and all things. I've seen Angel's Melancholy. I've seen more of Lucifer Valentine's film catalog than I'd like to share. But at the end of the day, one film really kind of came out and impressed me in a way that I'm not proud to admit. But the cool thing about this one, and this is Human Centipede Part 2 by Tom Six, is the fact that a lot of these movies that I'm talking about, they're art house. They're movies that were made to be metaphorical. So the gross stuff you're watching is all meant to mean something else. Whereas Tom Six made this movie to just be fucking gross. And it excels directly at that. This one in particular, because it's the one that goes the furthest. And it's just little creepy dude.
Yeah.
He really likes the first film a lot. So he decides that he wants to replicate it. And he starts kidnapping people. But the funny thing is like he doesn't have the medical knowledge to actually surgically put them together, and then he can't get his centipede to work right, which is hilarious. Which it leads to like the big climax of the film, and I just think that I think that if you're gonna watch any of those movies that are just gross for grossness' sake, that really kind of hit their mark, I would say watch this one because it's actually kind of entertaining in a really dark comedy, disgusting way. Because the Human Centipede movies are dark comedies. Of course, you got to be wired all fucked up like I am to find them funny. But if you can, like they're pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, it's just about as funny as your lead up to tell us what movie you actually watched, man.
One of the only horror films
I don't like.
almost had to turn off.
I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like this movie at all. I didn't like the first one. It was, I don't know.
Oh no, I agree. I'm never going to recommend this film. I'm never going to tell people to watch it. Definitely not. But in a weird way, I like it. You know what I mean? But I understand what Mel's saying. There's one scene that is way too much for me, and that's when the girl that got hit in the head with the hammer wakes up and tries to escape in the car and gives birth. Like, fuck that scene. That is what the hell is wrong with Tom Six? That weird little Dutchie? There's something wrong with him. Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit, but
I don't know. People's mouths still tether people's assholes and shit in each other's mouths. I don't know. If you're into that shit, then that's good. I mean,
the cool thing about
good on you, Johnny, man. You're more open-minded than I am.
This movie is in black and white, but except for that stuff, there's actually like some brown added to the color palette in certain scenes, and it's pretty funny.
I'm sure there is brown added to the color palette.
Yeah,
a whole lot of it
added to the taste palette.
Well, the funny thing about this one is like he couldn't get them to poop. Like they wouldn't eat and they wouldn't poop, so he couldn't get his centipede to work right. And like, it's interesting. Is all I can.
So
tell
the pooping process in Sentai, whatever fucking movie this is that like how it powers itself, or is there a theory to like shitting in your mouth, digesting it, shitting into the next person's mouth? Is there like a theory that this does something, or like
it's a weird sustainable technology where a group of people share one digestive tract is the theory behind it. So there's only one actual meal that's needed for like a group of people. It's kind of like
it's to help cure starvation.
I guess. I don't know. It's a movie about making people eat shit is what it's about. Dude. Like the entire thing was Tom Six thought it was a messed up idea and wanted to make a film about it because he hated his boss. It was a revenge fantasy. Anyway. Yeah. The revenge fantasy.
Definitely a gross out film. If you like the gross out stuff, then this film is definitely a gross out film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't mind gross out stuff, but I think this is just like, how long are these runtimes of these movies roughly? Are they over an hour and a half?
No, they're about 90 minutes each.
Okay, good thing, because
yeah, no, they're not like Solo. They're not like 5 hours long.
Yeah.
Imagine 5 hours of human Sentai, whatever. Fuck. I keep saying Sentai Pad because of the stupid South Park episode.
I can't get it to read. That's how I learned about the franchise.
This is probably the best thing that came from this movie was that South Park did a parody on it, which was amazing. And that's probably the best thing that came from these movies, I'd have to say. So they did serve a purpose to make a kick-ass South Park episode.
Actually, part 3 is way worse in my opinion, Mel. Part 2 is bad though. It's the hardest one to watch because it's the most. It definitely is the most disturbing. But part 3 is definitely harder to watch just because of how annoying the German guy is in it. Like, fuck, I wish he would shut the fuck up in that movie. And
does the dude look like that weird in real life, or did they like
the weird little short guy? Yeah. No, those guys both look that weird in real life. Like, I think that's how they got their job.
So they didn't even have to use special effects for that.
Yeah, Tom Six was like, dude, put out a casting call. I want guys that are believable, that look like they would sew people together to make them eat shit. And like they accomplished their goals. They found guys that like you legit look at them and you're like, yep, that little midget looks like he would totally make himself a human centipede in the parking garage.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Any thoughts on this, Matt? Because I think spending 10 minutes talking about this movie is 10 minutes too long as far as I'm concerned.
I think we've covered it. Like, I don't know. I didn't really see the point in the film. And yeah, I've watched it once, probably close to when it came out, and haven't felt the need to revisit it again.
Well, there's only one point to it to be disgusted. I mean,
Exactly.
like I said, like that was the key focus of it, and he nailed it. You know what I mean? He stuck that landing.
Yeah.
And
but why the second one more than the first?
Because the second one has the really, 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 really messed up stuff, like the little dude whacking off with the sandpaper.
Okay.
You had the
so on top of the gross out stuff, it has more shocking.
Yeah, it's the way worse version of out of the three.
Yeah, I can watch the first one because it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, yes, feed her.
yeah, that one's fucking cracks me the fuck up. But this one was just, I don't know, just too mean spirited. It didn't. I don't know.
So maybe that's why Johnny likes it, because it's mean spirited. All right, let's get on to fucking Constantine.
Last but not least, I figured it would be fun to us kind of like all talk about something we all really like, and it is the Keanu Reeves John Constantine film that's just called Constantine, which gets a lot of shit, but in my opinion, I think that it is a really, really good Elseworlds tale for John. You know what I mean? It's a really good alternate version of the character, and it was one of the first pre-Matrix movies where Keanu was really rocking the shit, just showing how big of a badass he was. So how do you guys kind of feel about this one?
Yeah, I mean, you guys know how big of a Hellblazer fan I am, so like if anyone was going to hate it, it probably should have been me. But I loved this film when it came out. I still revisit it all the time. I just got 2 words, man. Peter Stormare. God damn. That dude as Satan was just fucking perfect, man. I wish he would have been in the movie more, but at the same time, maybe that's what made it so good, is the fact that you don't get to see him that much until the very end. So Tilda Swinton's fucking great in it. Just the only thing I didn't like was Gavin Rosdale.
Yeah, that's my big detractor too.
Yeah, I mean, I think we unanimously agree on that one as well.
But yeah, like the whole rest of the movie was a blast, man. I love that movie.
Yeah, Rachel Weisz, right? That's the actress. Yeah, she's awesome. I love her. I don't hate on Keanu. I thought he did a decent job in this movie.
Yep.
I mean, all the actors, like you said, all of them hit their marks, except for maybe the one. I won't beat it in like a dead horse, but there's just that one aspect that I thought was a downer in the whole thing was the demon that Rosdale played. But aside from that, like everything, like you said, the devil, like the way they put him in the white suit with the tar.
Yeah, man.
Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. What a beautiful touch that was.
Yeah.
And like when it hits, it just steams up as he's coming down, and it's just dripping before he gets into the scene, and you're like, what the fuck? And whoever designed that, and I like Swinton's Angel too, how at the end she's in this straitjacket. It almost looks like a straitjacket when she has all the patient tags. Yeah, the medical bracelets. That was a nice touch too. It was like so simple in the design, but so good. Like, I love it. Like from a visual standpoint, this movie rocked. Like I can't think of too many visual aspects of this movie that were not well done.
Oh, dude! Like when he goes to hell the couple of times, and they show that. I love the demon designs, how they don't have full heads; they kind of just like stop at the nose. I thought they were really cool. And yeah, when they showed like the pit of the unrepentant sinner and all like the weird stuff that they really show, it's one of the most terrifying visual versions of hell I've seen depicted in film. So I think that whoever did the CGI work was incredible. Really had a good look. It kind of reminded me of when was it Mike Deodato who did the Mike Carey run? The art? No, it was Leonardo Menko. Really kind of reminded me of some of Leonardo Menko's art during the Mike Carey run of Hellblazer, which was gorgeous, by the way. Another thing that I like that nobody's mentioned is I think Shia LaBeouf was actually really solid, positive of the film. Even though they made Chaz a kid, I thought that like he
Yeah.
played the part pretty well. I thought,
Hmm.
and even though that they made Papa Midnight a good guy, I thought Jamin Hansu was incredible. I
Yeah,
wish that
yeah.
they could have gave him a spin-off film. I'd have watched a Papa Midnight movie with Jamin. He's fucking awesome, anyways.
Yeah, he was solid too. Yeah, it was. Yeah, all around this movie was really good. Like I can't say, and I've mentioned it on Twitter before, but if they did another Constantine movie and they wanted to do a gender swap, man, you just got to cast what's her name, Tilda
Yeah, I
Swinton
think.
Yeah.
as Constantine. If you want to do a chick as Constantine, man, she's perfect. She would fit it so
Agreed.
well. Like I would love that. I would almost want to see that more than them just trying to redo another movie. Just gender swap it, give her the role, and let her run with it. I'm sure it'd do gangbusters. That she is. I love her as an actress, and I think
Yep.
like she would bang that role right out of the park, man.
She got the right attitude. She can smoke.
Yeah, man.
Look cool smoking.
She's a great
so, yeah.
actress. Yeah, she has.
I just hope
too,
they have.
like,
I hope they get Storm Air back again, man.
that would be cool too. Yeah. Ah, it was good. Like, I mean, this was one of the ones I was thinking of picking, but I know we all liked it. And like we discussed, you're like, yeah, but we know a lot of people shit on this movie just because, people like to shit on things, and it's easy. Cano has the main role as Constantine. Right. He's not British. He's not blonde. He's,
He even wears a black trench coat. He doesn't even wear the English fog khaki one.
Not even a trench coat. He wears a suit. He just wears a suit. He never really wears a trench coat in it.
He's got kind of a black coat that he wears. It's almost trenchy.
He has the coat. Yeah. It's got maybe slightly longer lapels than normal, but Yeah.
Well, the neat thing about this film too is that they don't really try to do any big story arc or any story arc at all from the comics. They create their own. They use the cancer from Dangerous Habits, and they kind of introduce the character Gabriel, but it's way different. They don't end up banging the demon L. They don't end up pulling his heart out and cutting his wings off and turning him into an angel slave like Garth did in the comics. So they did a lot of really different stuff. Nergal never shows up in this, like in Dangerous Habits. So they played with a few items from the story arcs, but all in all, like the whole Spear of Destiny and the character Angie and all that, it was all completely created for the film. And I think that's where the film really shined. They didn't try to recreate and ruin anybody's favorite story arcs.
Yeah, they took like minor elements and incorporated it into the bigger storyline of the movie. Yeah.
I wish more films would do that instead of like, the Daredevil movie. Like they tried to do the Elektra saga, but they also confused it with parts of The Hole by what's his name, by David Mack, and it screwed it up because like they ended up ruining both story arcs by doing it. And it's like this one was smart. They just created their own thing. They just like borrowed the cancer from Dangerous Habits.
Yeah,
I thought that was
like
cool.
You said, the CG effects. I mean, they hold up pretty solid. Like,
there's definitely worse.
Yeah, a lot worse. Like over time. Like, how old is this movie now? It's almost 20 years old.
It came out in 2000. Yeah, it came out in like 2000 or 99.
21 years old, man. So you got to think these effects were done 20 years
pretty
ago.
Early on. Yeah,
they hold up pretty good. Like when I watch it, I'm not like, ooh, when you cringe when you're like, yeah, that did not age well. I don't get that from watching this. It still holds up pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, as almost as big of a Hellblazer fan as Fulci is, I gotta agree, man. Like I should hate this film, and I never could. Even when it was new, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought that it was a really interesting take. Like I wish that they would have called it like John Constantine Earth 1. I think a lot more people would have got it if they had called it that or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, it would have fucked it up. But that's basically what it is, though. You know what I mean? Like really kind of weird. Like what is it? Superman Earth 2 that's of color. It's kind of like in that same category for me.
Right.
How did this movie do at the box office? Did it do well or did it not do well at all?
I think it actually did pretty good.
Yeah,
I think it did too.
Right? Yeah.
I don't think it was a huge hit, but I think it made a profit.
Yeah, it definitely made a profit.
Like another movie that doesn't get enough praise is Judge Dredd.
The Sylvester
Dredd,
Stallone one.
The Dredd. No, Dredd. Like that movie was a flop in the box office, but I don't understand how that movie could be such a flop in the box office. Sometimes it's just weird. I get dumbfounded about certain things.
It wasn't promoted worth a fuck in America. That's why.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe that's
I went and
why.
saw it twice. Though it came out on my came out the 2 days before my birthday. The year it came out, and yeah, I tried everything I could. I went and participated in all the Days of Dread to try to, Snyder cut that bitch. Try to get a TV show, get a sequel, and it's never worked. But I love the Carl Urban Dredd film. I love the Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd too, because that's what got me into 2000 AD. But
yeah, so some other news though that I saw today was the Grendel announcement for Steve Hayner posted it. Yeah, Netflix is picking it up, man. 8 episodes. They're going to do a Grendel series from the Dark Horse comic, which is fucking probably the best news I've heard all year regarding TV or movie news for comics, man.
Yeah, I just hope it does well on its own, because I guarantee you most of the people that watch it aren't gonna even realize that it's based off of
based on a comic.
Yeah. Grendel's been around since I was a kid. It was one of the first Dark Horse things I read, and it wasn't like Star Wars or the Terminator. So, and I love Matt Wagner. I'm so happy that he is getting an adaptation, and Grendel's so good. Like if you go back and read the original stuff from Comico before it was a Dark Horse book, so badass. So yeah,
and I guess really cool. they've already cast Grendel, the lead. It's
they got some kid playing
Abu
Austin
Bakr
Rose.
Ali. Yeah, he'll be the first Arab Muslim to be the lead in a superhero show or movie.
Well, if you look at the old drawings of the character, he looks like him. So it's good casting.
Yeah.
So
So man, I'm looking forward to that. That's fuck yeah. Usually Netflix is pretty quick too. When they announce shows, they usually try to get them out fairly quick. Like it doesn't stay in production for too long. Yeah. Because I don't think they want to lose the hype of the announcement. If it takes too long, then you always get that stigma too. If it got pushed back. So anytime something gets delayed, they're like, oh, it's shit. It's because it's shit. That's why they delayed it, and it gets that shit label right away. As soon as there's a delay.
They've had this contract with Dark Horse for a while. It's good they're finally doing something with it. Okay. But I guarantee you it's only going to have like a medium budget, but that's probably going to serve to its benefit. I think it's going to be actually more hardcore that way, because they're going to make it like 80s, 90s trash thing like it should be. Like that's kind of how Grendel's supposed to be.
Yeah, so that's some great news that I heard today. That made my day. I got home and I saw that posted on a Discord somewhere. Steve Hayner posted it, and I was like, oh shit, yeah. So I saw that when I got home from IKEA, and it put a smile on my face.
Did you say IKEA?
Yeah.
God damn it.
What?
I go there whenever
I had to go get a shelf,
element.
man. I had to go get a new bookshelf because I've got hardcovers piling up all around me. So I had to go get what's the name of it? Collects whatever bookshelf. They're pretty good. They're solid because they got the divider in the middle. So with the you don't get the bow in the shelf because you have that divider in the middle, so it supports the weight well. It's great for hardcovers. Yeah, it's great for hardcovers. I make one myself.
Like I type, like pretty little bow. Sometimes they're blue. Sometimes
I hope it breaks.
Depending on which color.
You gotta post Mel's comment. Yeah, he hates IKEA because he hates Happy.
IKEA makes people
great
happy.
One, Mel.
Doesn't make me happy.
That's a good one. So yeah, Matt hates Happy. So
yeah,
let's end the show on that.
That is the ultimate guilty pleasure is happiness. Me and Joe love it. Matt does not, tragically. And that's why he'll probably never watch The Notebook. I'm actually interested. I might check it out with both Fred and Joe telling me that like it's like breadsticks and roofies. Like
yeah, man. Next thing you know, you're going to be in love, getting married, and your life's going to take a turn for the better.
Who am I going to marry, do you think? Like
I don't know. You'll be surprised, man. You'll find it in the strangest of places.
Android? Like, that sounds pretty hot.
Yeah, well, we're pretty close to getting sex androids, aren't we? Must be
No, I don't want
not
a
too far
sex
off.
android. Those things look fake. I want a Michael Fassbender one.
He must be pretty close because they have those sex dolls that are superhuman like.
No,
With
they
real
look fake
teeth and
as
hair and
hell.
everything.
They scare me, man. Like there's
The
that
$10,000
uncanny valley.
ones, the $15,000 ones are pretty real looking.
I'm gonna have to rob Matt to afford that, though, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I have to steal your IKEA shelf and sell it on eBay and say that like it was created by the people that made Something's Killing the Children. Give me 15 grand for a sex robot. Like, that's how you do it.
He's gonna trade his Something Is Killing the Children's for a sex doll.
No, it's the shelf that was built by Willard De La Dara and James Tinian IV. It's their shelf that they built for the book, and like people will pay for it. Like I just got to find a way to certificate authenticity that bitch, and yeah, got myself a $15,000 fucking plan to get a sex robot, guys. But all right, this was Buzz Bites. This was our guilty pleasures, and obviously one of mine's sex robots. I didn't know about that until like 5 minutes ago, but thank you, Joe, for pointing that out. We are a product of graphic vandalism. Don't stop reading. Don't stop supporting awesome comics and movies and music. And Matt hates happy, so let's try to make Matt happy. Buy him some IKEA, people. He needs it.
Fuck IKEA.
And get him some pretty bows, like blue ones. I think Matt would look pretty with some blue bows. But until next time, check you later.